Hi, this is Don Stanley, and I'm here today with Mr. Christopher Kraft. And I've got Mr. Kraft here because we have a personal passion about personal branding. And he's going to be talking to us today and telling us a bit of his story about personal branding. He's got a book that's coming out soon, Open, the 4 components to personal branding excellence. So I thought, perfect guy to have come and speak in particular with the students and let them know what should you be thinking about, what should you be doing, and how can you be putting together that personal brand. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, Chris Kraft, father of 2, husband. Love the Houston Rockets and the Atlanta Falcons. A little bit heartbroken.
Oh, yeah.
But I have a passion for entrepreneurship and networking. Upon finishing Georgia Tech in 2001, I started a record label, which taught me a lot about working in an industry where it's significant. It's a significant portion of it, as far as success, is actually networking and getting to know people. You hear it all the time. You know, it's 80% who you know, and the talent kind of makes up for the rest of the gap. So I ran the label from 2002 all the way up until like 2009. And upon finishing with the label and kind of having on autopilot, I was just kind of not really in stasis, but just trying to figure out what to do. I had all this experience, getting real live, cuts and bruises. And I started to notice that people were asking me a lot of questions about branding, everything from should I get an LLC to an S Corp, all the way up to what should my logo look like, what blogging platform should I use, and I knew the answers to all these questions, so it inspired me in 2010 to start Now Media and Consulting, which is my baby.
Excellent.
We have Bomani Jones as a client. We've worked with Aloe Black, a soul singer, with a really cool song, I Need a Dollar. And from there, providing professional services, I figured, hey, we need to throw in some sort of product. And I decided to write a book, Open, the 4 components to personal branding excellence. And that's what brought us to here.
Yeah.
You have a really nice platform there at Wisconsin, and I'm just thankful that you brought me on to share my story with the students.
Absolutely. And I think, again, one of the things that I know a lot of younger people, a lot of people, period, and you've probably experienced this with the clients you were just talking about, the people that you interact with, but a lot of people don't realize the importance and the need to think about a personal brand in today's day and age, where there's a lot of job turnover. You're almost always marketing yourself, and this is a great way to proactively do the search. So if again, the number of the students who are going to be you were going to be talking to, they haven't done any of this. They may have put up a LinkedIn page, and but the LinkedIn page is just a resume popped up, and that's about the extent of it. So what is your getting us started on it, and giving us a little bit of a taste of what the Open book is like, so that when the book comes out, we can jump on it and and dig in deeper.
Well, the important thing with Open, and the O stands for opportunity, the P stands for passion, the E for education, with which you and your students value, and the N for networking. The important thing is that while they think they don't have a brand, while they think they haven't put in the work and the exercises to build their brand still exists. That's the fact. When they roll out of bed, when they introduce themselves to the public, whether they're buying the Snickers at the corner store or whether they're walking into your class, their brand is being represented by what they do. And I would say, sophomore in high school, you really need to start thinking about, hey, wow, I need to be concerned about my grades. I need to start thinking about my college major. I need to start thinking about my passion and how it connects to the other components of Open. It starts with passion, but I couldn't name the book Poem. Open, but it starts with passion. So they're in school. What they need to be figuring out is like, hey, what you're majoring in, is that where you really want to be?
Yeah.
And even within your major, are you learning the key things that will make you different within your niche? If you're pre-law and you expect to go into law school, there are a lot of attorneys out there.
Hmm.
How are you going to separate yourself, especially if you want to have your own practice? So the main thing is, when we're thinking classic networking, eye contact, handshakes,
Hmm.
go not only going to conferences, which a lot of conferences will give you discounts if you're a student, but actually taking the time to network with the people who are there presenting at the conference, that already thins the field just by you being there. It shows that you have a passion for something. So if you walk up to somebody who's a presenter, don't walk up to them right before they present. That's not a
Hmm.
good time.
Yeah.
But maybe during a break, or maybe during the lunch, or an intermission, they know that you stand for something, and just walk up to them confidently.
Hmm.
And that it might sound funny, but things like fresh breath, dressing nicely, dressing appropriately for your environment, and respecting the culture. Those are some of the more the classic things that I talk about in the book. Going into more of the modern things, yes, social networks are huge. And what I like to tell, especially college students, that college is an interesting time. You're partying a lot. There are a lot of pictures that are taken that you might
Hmm.
not want. Uh,
Yes.
those things are very important, and they could follow you, especially with Facebook. Facebook does not purge, some of those photos that might have you in certain kind of situations that you
Hmm.
might not want a future employer to see. So when you're engaging on Twitter, especially if you don't have a private Twitter account, even if you do have a private Twitter account, even if you're sending direct messages, make believe that whatever you're sending or tweeting or DMing, that it's in public view, because
Hmm.
it just takes a control C and a control V for someone to put out there a comment that you say that you might not want the public to know about. So it's
Absolutely.
kind of a holistic approach of the classic sense of networking and the new forms of networking, as far as social media, as far as yeah, I talk about a really cool platform called Quora that I'm a
Hmm.
big fan of rather. I'm headed to Palo Alto tomorrow, actually. Wow, time flies. To meet with some of the Quora people, and Quora's whole mission is that they want to be the hub for all knowledge on the internet. And it's crowdsourced knowledge, and it's a great way to build authority for your brand. LinkedIn Answers has been given the axe.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've heard that,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
January 31st is gone. So Quora is making putting itself in a position to be the place to brand yourself amongst intelligent people. So those are just some of the tidbits of the book, but it's I believe it's a book that every high school and college graduate should read. I think it should be something right up there with the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People and Think and Grow Rich. I really believe that
Hmm.
it's one of those things that you should digest or ingest and run with it.
Yeah, and I think that especially one of the things that I think I've mentioned to you, I've worked with Dan Miller, 48 Days to the Work You Love, and one of the things that he really talks about is that the average length of stay in a job for somebody in their 20s is 13 months. The average length of stay for somebody in their 30s is about 24 to 36 months. So the average person is going to have 14 to 20 jobs
That's
in their
correct.
lifetime, and you have to realize your job isn't necessarily your career. So meaning that, there's lots of ways to fulfill what you want to do. So, you have to intelligently start thinking about what it is that you care about and why it is that you care about it, and proactively putting out. One thing that I think you said that I just want to hit on a little bit and just reiterate, because you're a speaker as well. You'll be speaking at Social Slam this year, which is really cool. Mark Schaefer, his conference down in Knoxville, Tennessee. Is that one of the things that I think the students can also do is if they're looking at those conferences, is seeing who the speakers are who are active on places like Twitter, active on places like LinkedIn, and reaching out and connecting with them before the conference so that they can build some credibility with the folks. And I've got to know a number of people. You and I actually were at Social Slam together. We didn't meet at Social Slam,
Right.
ironically.
That's the power of it.
But like Marcus Sheridan and I have had a chance to become friends in the sales line, and we connected via social networks, and same with Mark Schaefer. Mark's become a great mentor and friend, and so I love what you're saying. So when students are going through or anybody is going through the process of really thinking about what are some of the things that drive them, you have any tips for them to discover what those are? Any exercises to discover what those are?
Definitely. I start the book with a three-step process. The first thing is write a one sentence statement of what something unique that you bring to the world. It could be a product, it could be a skill set, or it could be, some random talent. Just start with that. And then also at the same time, start with why. I want to be an astronaut. Well, why? Well, because my dad wanted me to be an astronaut. No, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
You have to go beyond what your parents want you to be or what your granddad wants you to be. You have to really go deep into the core. The other part of that is you can't look for too long. If you're looking for too long about what your passion is, 9 times out of 10, you're most likely trying to convince yourself of what it really is. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to go away from it. You have to think of the thing, what would I do for free? Not for free for a long time, mm-hmm. but what would you do that if there was no way to monetize it, that you would see yourself doing and it would be like paradise? Mm-hmm. Those are some of the things that you have to consider. What do you see that other people see in you? Not necessarily saying that other people see the best in you, but you could kind of crowdsource. Oh, that's okay. You can kind of crowdsource, attributes that other people see in you, and you could take that like, oh wow, those are some things that people see in me, and I've been blind to it. Mm-hmm. My wife saw that I should be involved with media as far as helping people build their brands through media way back in college, and I didn't see it at mm-hmm. the time. So those are some of the things, and I think there's one other point that I mentioned in the book that was a really good that's escaping me, but it'll probably bounce back. But those are probably the main things. Start with why. Definitely the why is very, very crucial.
So one of the things that you mentioned too is Korra. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because this class is specifically about social media marketing. We're specifically looking at using blogging, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then maybe some other platforms for students to start building a professional profile. Somebody searches them and they find the stuff that they want to go out. So tell us a little bit about Korra, because I'm not overly familiar with it.
Now, Korra, I call it in the book the nerdy engine that could. And it really is. Got started, I believe, in 2009. And it's basically a social network built on questions and answers. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like LinkedIn Answers on steroids. But the really cool thing that it comes with a community that's already built in that I really, really like. Right now, it's really heavy on the tech and startup side, mm-hmm. but there are all types of topics there that you can either ask a question on. If the topic's not there, you can create the topic, mm-hmm. or you can answer the questions on it. And similar to EdgeRank, they have an algorithm, some sort of secret sauce, to where as you answer more questions, as you build up the social proof in the form of upvotes for your answers, they start to increase your rank as far as your credibility and authority on those specific topics. I started to answer a lot of questions on lead generation, and before I know it, that I answer a lot of questions about lead gen because I've built up the authority on that specific topic, that specific niche, mm-hmm. Within marketing. So that's what Korra is. They're based in Mountain View, and I believe within the next month or so they'll be rolling out a blogging platform.
Oh, interesting.
blog directly on Korra.com. And you can send your content directly to the people who already follow certain topics that have been built within the platform.
Oh.
So it's kind of a diamond in the rough right now, but I believe with some of the attention that they're getting out there in Silicon Valley, that they're on to something.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy that's ahead of Wikipedia, he's a minority investor. The main guy, the CEO, is Adam D'Angelo, Facebook's first CTO.
Wow.
He just pumped 20 million of his own dollars into it. So the people who are into it really believe it, and that's why I'm going out there tomorrow to get in with them and check them out and check out their new facilities.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's yeah, and again, I think sometimes those niche tools are so underutilized. I actually had a student tweet at me the other day. Wasn't in my class, but he said, is LinkedIn, it seems like it's dead. Is it even worth doing? And I just, I had to chuckle at it and saying, again, like when people will also say Google Plus is a ghost town. Well, there's 100 million people there, and you look at the people who are there, and there's a lot of serious thought leaders there. Chris Brogan. Yeah, so don't underestimate the power of these niche tools that are emerging tools. Because as I pointed out in my class yesterday, I said, well, what happened in February 4th, 2004? And everybody just stared at me blankly, and I said, think about it. What happened, and they didn't know. And I said, that's when Facebook was born. So it's
Right.
It's only going to turn 9 years old this year, and there's other tools out there that are young and emerging. Facebook tends to be the one that most people think of, but I remember a time when there was Netscape, and everybody thought Netscape was the greatest browser in the world, and when MySpace first started up, and how great MySpace was, although they're making a comeback.
Right.
So I think that's really important. So one of the things too is that as these guys and girls, men and women, start looking at some of those. Okay, I'm finding I'm really into a certain topic. How do you suggest they start sharing their passion and their interests on topics to make connections?
Oh, definitely blogging in my getting out there and creatively writing about your passion in an open forum, like starting with a WordPress.com, and maybe taking the next step and getting your own domain, and start to brand yourself on a blog and attaching your blog to places like Quora, where you can go out and answer a question about the same things that you blog about. And Quora has a cool feature where you can embed your answers onto your own WordPress blog.
Oh, nice.
Or you can send your answers directly to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn from Quora. So I would say definitely blogging. And writing, I don't think people understand the power of writing and understand the power of rhetoric. And I would say, speaking of rhetoric, the next step after writing is doing exactly what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Social Slam as a attendee one year, and then the next year you meet the right people, you could go there and talk. So the next natural progression is from writing to public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any better way to establish yourself as an authority on what you love than going out and doing public speaking. And you don't have to hit the conference scene.
Mm-hmm.
You could start with your local chamber. If you know enough about Twitter, there are guys that are carrying briefcases to work every day that don't know what Twitter is.
Yep.
That they will love to hear from you over a lunch. You might not be getting paid for the gig, but you're establishing yourself as an authority. And I don't think that word authority can be brought up enough.
Absolutely.
So I would say writing, blogging, and then taking that platform into public speaking.
And one other question that I have is the idea that, do you have any recommendations? I know one of the big things that I'd like to talk about is that how accessible a lot of these authorities are. That if you reach out to them in genuine ways, asking them, can you be interviewed for can I do an interview of you for my blog, or can I take something from your blog and do you have any recommendations for reaching out to those people once you identify who some of those folks are?
Definitely. Find their interests. Now, when I first met Jay Bear, and I talk about this in the book, he gave me his business card, and it doubles as a bottle opener.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's amazing. So from there, I'm like, okay, this guy, he loves his drinks and he loves, being creative. So after I met him, and I talk about this in the book as well, when I got home, I did not wait a month or 2 months before emailing him.
Mm-hmm.
I hit him up immediately and I let him know, hey, this is what I can do for you. I can provide, guest blogging content on something that I'm comfortable writing about, which happened to be the convergence of sports and social media.
Mm-hmm.
And around the last Olympics, I wrote a guest blog for Convince to Convert, and it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. So you go out and you figure out what these guys like as regular human beings. Jay loves his Indiana basketball.
Yep. Which the Badgers beat the Hoosiers. Just gotta say.
That's right. That's right. Don said it. If you see this, Jay, I didn't.
Yeah, I actually put something on his Facebook. I posted something on Facebook teasing him, but he was like in Jamaica or in Mexico or something, relaxing. So I don't think he cared.
But yeah, in their niche, but that they're regular guys and gals.
Mm-hmm.
So. Figuring out how to connect with them as a human being, and then sending a tweet. But definitely let them know what you bring to the table when you engage them, because a lot of people approach them for what they want them to do for them,
mm-hmm.
But they never let them know what they could bring to the table. So I would say that's the major thing. And yeah, a lot of them pay a lot of attention to their own comment sections on their
mm-hmm.
blogs too. Comment sections take on a community of themselves. I know the Mark Schaefer's the business.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, that's like a world within itself, and it's amazing. And Convince and Convert has a similar type of traction too. So find them in their comment sections. They will reply. Twitter, maybe a little bit hit or miss. So I would say comment section and meeting them at the conferences. Nothing beats a handshake.
Absolutely, which we still have to do in person. So
I know. Hopefully in Knoxville in April.
Well, actually, I was supposed to be on a panel in Knoxville, but I got hired to do a keynote in Vegas at the same time. So, yeah, so I'm very disappointed because Mark Schaefer has put together an amazing community of people, and so but I'll be down in Tennessee too, so hopefully we can connect this summer and keep things rolling. Now, one of the last things that I want to do is I want to while you're here, get you to commit to coming back to talking to us about Korra, because I want to hear more about it when you get back next week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna learn a lot, and one of the guys out there that's really taken me under his wing is Mark Bodnick. He's the head of Biz Ops there. He's the one that actually invited me out.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go out and check them out and learn a lot, hopefully. And I'll also come back with some LinkedIn nuggets too. I have a buddy that I went to school with at Georgia Tech. He's one of the engineers there.
Oh, cool.
He's actually one of the designers there. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna have lunch with him on the LinkedIn campus in Mountain View.
Nice.
Should come back with some nuggets. So I'll come back with some Korra and LinkedIn.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time. If the students want to connect with you, either through Twitter, your blog, anywhere else, where should they go?
Definitely. Connect with me on Twitter at Chris Queso. I know it's kind of funny, so don't hesitate to have fun with your brand at the same time. But that's ChrisQueso. And also you can find my blog at nowisnow.com. That's NAOISNOW.com. And also, if you want to sign up for my personal branding email community, you could connect with that at signup.openroutine
Excellent. And when does the book come out again? Is it April?
April 9th.
Excellent, excellent. So we'll be on the lookout for that as well. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mr. Kraft, and we will be talking to you soon.
I had a blast. I can't wait to come back.
All right, take care.